Sally, in the light of what you're saying, we've talked about this before. There's in the book of Acts, you have Paul and his company going about their business and meeting Lydia. And we've talked about Beyond the Billboard about the fact that Acts seems to be full of people who are beyond the billboard, who keep interrupting the plans and become the directions for the church. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, and because we started this conversation in our community, it's turned into a preaching series. And it is actually incredibly radical, more so than I've ever noticed. So, the first converts that you have in the book of Acts are a group of the most unlikely people. You get the Ethiopian eunuch. What does that say about our ideas about who is the right ethnic group for us to attract, or people with the right sexuality or the right sexual identity? An Ethiopian eunuch could not have been further from the mind of Philip, I guess, when he thought about how mission was going to happen. And Paul himself, who would have chosen Paul? Who would have chosen this radical, angry persecutor of the church? And then you get Cornelius, the Gentile, who's hearing God. We just had that, we looked at that last week, and that the Cornelius, the Gentile, has one vision and an angel speak, and Paul has to hear this 3 times. Get up, Peter has to hear this 3 times. Get up and eat, get up and eat, get up. And so God was out there with Cornelius way before Peter knew it. And then this week we're looking at Lydia. And again, Paul would never have thought an immigrant, foreign, wealthy woman would have been the key to unlock mission in Europe. So what are we missing? We're just meeting the people we always meet and talking about the things we always talk about. What are we missing? Who are the people who we could be encountering? Where's the Ethiopian eunuch? Where's Cornelius? Where's Lydia? What do people think about that? Does that make sense to others?
Yeah. Well, let's get into that. I mean, it's there's some questions starting to come up, and but part of the point that you're making here is that when we talk about Beyond the Billboard, we're not talking about a technique to do church differently. We're saying that in people that we would never count or imagine or often see as church, God is at work and God's future is being shaped, and we're being invited not to publish the billboard, but to figure out how we connect and listen and engage with these folks.